I really like a lot of what I've heard today, both from the committees and also from my colleagues up here on the stage. Last year, there was a little fun had at my expense about my age. I think the governor said that she was hoping to lower the average age of Rhode Island, and people made the comment that I'm helping out and doing my part. I'm 33, but when I think about entrepreneurs, whether it's the high-tech startup entrepreneurs or whether it's the people who are opening coffee shops or restaurants, these are primarily people in my age bracket, right? There are people who start their first businesses when they're in their 50s, 60s, when they're retired from everything, but primarily, especially for first-time business owners, right, you're talking about people who are my age, plus or minus 10 years. So I spend a lot of time talking to entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs just because that's my social circle, I guess. And one point that I just want to make is, if you're going to have a successful entrepreneurial climate, you have to have a climate where it's okay to take risks and it's okay to fail. I do worry a lot, particularly at the federal level, about what is going to happen in terms of the social safety net, whether it's under the new administration, because if you want people to take risks, if you want people to stick their neck out and start a business and face the possibility of failure, it's much harder to develop that climate if people have to worry that if they fail, they're going to lose their health coverage, they're going to lose their home, they're going to lose their ability to feed young kids. So I would just encourage everyone, and by the way, if there is a push to have states take on more of these responsibilities as opposed to the federal government, small states like Rhode Island are going to have a much harder time doing that, right? If you're California, you can find ways to pay for programs knowing that nobody's going to commute from Nevada to San Francisco every day, or move a distribution center from Oakland to Oregon. It's different when you're a small state like Rhode Island and you have New Hampshire breathing down your neck, right? So as we watch what happens over the next few months in Washington, whether it's this talk about repealing Obamacare without a replacement, or gutting the Department of Labor or whatever else, just keep in mind, somewhere in a kitchen right now in Rhode Island, a restaurant kitchen, there is somebody who has the skills, the talent, maybe even the capital to go out and start their own restaurant. And the factor that they have to think about is, if it doesn't work out, am I going to be okay? You have to have an environment where it's possible to fail, and the consequences of failure may not be pleasant, but they're not going to be life-threatening. If you don't have that, you're not going to have a successful small business environment, you're not going to have a successful entrepreneurial environment. States cannot take all of this on their own. So I would encourage everybody to pay close attention to what's going on in Washington and train, all of us should train some of our advocacy and some of our efforts to making sure that at the federal level especially, there is some semblance of a social safety net that is left in place, because without that, people aren't going to take risks as much, people aren't going to be as entrepreneurial, and we're not going to have as strong of a small business climate as we all want. So with that, thank you.
And the most